Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Limit Breakdown, where we break down the latest in TV, movies, and everything going on in entertainment. I'm your host, Migs.
I'm Sid.
And today we're going to be doing our weekly roundup for the week ending in June 25th. And let's go ahead and kick it off with my favorite part.
The box office number.
The box office number. So we have some drama going on this week.
Okay.
Underdog Story had fallen off the top, but now rose like a phoenix back to the number one spot. Amazing, incredible Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Nice.
Back at number one with $19.3 million.
Okay.
Hot on its heels, number two, Elemental from Disney with $18.5 million.
Okay. Wow. Pretty good. Pretty close.
Number three, suffering a devastating second week drop-off of 72%. At $15.1 million at number three, The Flash.
Yep, that was expected.
Number four is the new Jennifer Lawrence comedy, No Hard Feelings, coming in with $15.1 million.
Okay.
And then rounding out the top five is Transformers: Rise of the Beasts with $11.7 million.
Wow. Fair enough. Okay, all above 10 million. So
all above 10 million. Close. So this transitions perfectly into our first topic, which is Flash underperforming drastically.
Yeah.
72% drop off from opening week is kind of a almost a no return situation. And you know, the movie already kind of had an inflated budget. I think it was somewhere between 250 to 300 million.
Oh, wow.
And that's not taking into account marketing. Considering all the controversy with Ezra Miller, I'm kind of surprised that they didn't take the same approach that they did with Batgirl, where they just, they scrapped it. They scrapped it. They took a $92 million hit. And from what I understand, the main reason they could do that is because by not releasing the movie, they were able to just basically write it off. Now, I don't know if they had like any contractual obligations. Maybe some of the actors might have had like box office ticket sales as part of their compensation. So that might have played into why they chose to release it. But I mean, right now it's hovering around 85 million domestically, a little less than 200 worldwide. And so like I don't see. I would think that they would have to make close to 500 million just to break even.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think primarily it's the reason the movie bombed is because of Ezra Miller, right? Now, obviously, box office doesn't necessarily tell you how good or bad a movie it does, but it gives you an insight of how much money it's making and things like that. You can make an assessment.
Well, I honestly thought, too, that, like, the nostalgia factor would at least drive people to go see it. Like for me, the main reason I went to go see it was Michael Keaton. I was super excited about seeing him reprise his role as Batman. So I thought that would have more of an impact. But I think that a huge thing that impacted this movie was the fact that this movie falls into that weird like lull period of. This is not the next DCU movie, and it really doesn't matter as far as the long-term storytelling, and I think people are just fed up with this version of the DCEU anyway.
Yeah, I've talked to a lot of people. Even my 12-year-old nephew actually was like, "Yeah, I enjoyed the movie, but I'm just not a DC fan." You know, he's like, I really just watched it because I had nothing else to do. So even 12-year-olds are like, I don't watch this, which is funny. But I have heard murmurs that one of the primary reasons a lot of people didn't support this movie or it's doing bad at box office is because of Ezra Miller. Yeah. Because they're like, we don't want to support the actor, and so we're not going to watch this movie. It had nothing to do... Now, whether this movie had been a great movie or just a horrendous movie, I don't think that would have swayed people to watch it. To a certain degree.
I don't know, man. I think if this movie would have been really, really good, I think word of mouth would have changed people's opinions.
Yes, but the initial, let's say, would have been a little bit lower, right? And like I said, box office doesn't necessarily mean that.
Yeah, well, I think the problem is this movie was just middle of the road. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good.
Yeah.
And to quote Linda, I wasn't overwhelmed, I wasn't underwhelmed, I was just whelmed.
Fair.
So
I do want to segue away to some other news that has happened this past week.
Okay.
Obviously one of the biggest things that happened was Final Fantasy 16 just dropped.
Yes.
Past Thursday. So far it's been having really good positive reviews. Linda has actually been playing it. She forced me to download the game. She's like, when I get home, I need it downloaded already so that I can just start playing. So far it's pretty good. It doesn't follow the normal gameplay that you would think of a Final Fantasy game, but it's pretty good. We'll do a review on that later. Number 2, speaking of DC, Adult Swim has a new Superman TV show coming out.
Okay.
It's an animated TV show featuring Superman. And it looks actually pretty good. Now, again, it is Adult Swim, so I don't think it's going to be like R-rated, but it is definitely going to be a little bit higher rated.
Yeah.
And the main character from The Boys, Huey, I forgot the actor's name. He is actually playing Superman.
Oh.
Yeah, so he's the voice actor for Superman in that movie.
This is animated.
This is 100% animated.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm always excited for DC animated stuff because they have 9 times out of 10
animated
knocked it
top notch. Yeah.
So I'm excited for the new Superman show. I think it's called My Adventures of Superman. So it might be following somebody who's like Lois Lane or somebody. So it's called My Adventures with Superman. So,
okay, that's pretty cool. So next bit of news concerns actually a big convention that happens over the summer. It is San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh, I've heard that little tiny convention.
Yeah, right? It's a little. It's just kind of off in the corner.
A few million people show up.
Well, actually, this year is probably going to be vastly different than any other year here recently because Sony Pictures, Netflix, HBO, Disney, and to include Lucasfilm and Marvel Studios, have all said that they will not be attending Comic-Con this year. So it will be the first time that Marvel will not host their almost panels. Annual Hall H panel. So a lot of people are going to be disappointed in that.
Wow.
And I don't know if it has to do with the writer's strike, or I don't know if they have, plans to maybe do their own like mini events at, on their own schedule. Cause usually that's when you get like a lot of the trailers for the new stuff. Yeah. The
new phase
the fall
releases
releases and stuff like that. The holiday lineup. So,
I am very, very shocked. Like I understand a few companies pulling back cause sometimes they do their own releases and stuff, but Comic-Con is one of, well, actually, it is the biggest convention in the world.
San Diego Comic-Con is like the mecca of nerddom.
Yeah, and that's where people, and even because of that, like that's why Marvel has been revealing all this stuff there, and that's where the first looks, the trailers, the rumors get spread from there.
Well, I mean, there's still going to be companies, like I know DC is supposed to be slated to do quite a few stuff at Comic-Con. There's
James Gunn is obviously that, so.
But and there's other companies, but the fact that a list as extensive as that, especially Disney, Marvel, all of them just being like, we're good this year.
Wow, I am genuinely very shocked at that news. Crazy.
Yep.
Fair enough.
You got anything else?
That is all that I had actually.
Okay. Yeah, so that was kind of a short week today, so let us know if there's anything that we missed talking about. Oh, actually, before we go, Nicole wanted me to talk about this, and I completely forgot. So there is a movie based on the Hunger Games. They made a follow-up book that was a prequel book that was based on President Snow, and it was basically his story of how he came up. And they are making a movie about that book.
Oh, okay.
And it's basically President Snow is the main character. And without going into spoilers or anything like that, from what I understand, Nicole was very upset at the fact that they humanized Snow and they almost made you root for him.
And the movie's already out, or
no. The book is out.
The book is out. Okay.
The book is out. The movie's in production, and it's gonna be released. But I know there's a lot of people that are huge fans of the Hunger Games. Yeah. Katniss Everdeen, that whole thing. But yeah. But yeah, so there's a movie based on the prequel book that's in production. So that should get a lot of people very excited.
Nice. I know a lot of people are Hunger Games fan. I got into the Hunger Games because of the movies. I'd never read the books.
Same.
And they're actually pretty enjoyable. I actually really, so yeah, I'm actually excited for that if they're gonna make a movie about it. So that's interesting that they because I know President Snoke was like the big bad wolf. In the movie. So I'm intrigued about the book and now the movie about how they're going about it. So but that's our wrap up, guys, for the weekly roundup. Let us know if we missed anything in the news in the comments below. Let us know what you liked or disliked, or if you just want to chat with us.
And as always, thank you for tuning in, and don't forget to hit the like button, comment, subscribe. It helps us out with the algorithm. We appreciate all of your input as always. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.